What's up, everybody? Welcome back to yet again a beautiful day of checking these buttons. It is Monday and we got a fresh new week of not only checking these buttons, but we got a whole new month. We are in November, ladies and gents. I don't know whether that's a big deal, but it's a big deal to me just because it's getting closer to the holidays, getting closer to the end of the year, getting closer to 2020 actually being over. Although I have a feeling that it's going to be leaking into 2021 and we're still going to be dealing with a lot of stuff in that year anyway. But anyway, let's not focus on all that hard stuff. Anyway, one more time. Without further ado, we got them hot topics, we got them hot clips, we're about to jump it all. We definitely got a hot debate today, so without further ado, let's go.
You go, man, this guy looks so cool. You pick them, you make sure you have like the color you want, all that shit, right? Tracksuit isn't one of my favorites. Default is actually pretty sick, especially if you have the gold version. You can hit them with the Zaffarino. I don't really have the Densetsu on this account. Yeah, right? And so then you look at them, and then you have them do his animation and shit, and you're like, yes, sir, I'm so ready to play Street Fighter 5. So you look at them for maybe about 5 minutes, give them some love, and then you pick Akuma. That's how you place a guy.
Well, this isn't enough damage either, I don't think. I might need to allow something else. Please. Oh, you're talking about the super. No, it has to miss like that. Let's fucking go! We did it! We fucking did it! Let's go!
If I'm not mistaken, were you not down 0-2 against Takedo in Grand Finals of Capcom Cup and then brought it back all the way?
I like losing. Like when I'm losing, I know they're feeling himself.
Yeah.
So I like that.
I think a lot of people might not realize the significance of how important this stuff is to your life. I mean, can you show the people the tattoo? My man has it. How many? Can you hold that up for us real quick? How many people have it actually tattooed on their body? And then he comes here to Street Fighter League and puts in work. One last thing I want to ask you, that last set with Samurai.
Yeah, that match is not good for Sakura. That's all I gotta say. But I want to say something about the tattoo.
Okay.
Like it's not only the ink that's running through my veins, but it's Street Fighter, and people gotta respect that.
All right, and now into them first set of buzz that need to be checked. Ladies and gents, all right, this is a topic right here that I would say is also as old as time. I've seen it before, can't remember the last time I've seen it, but I definitely have before. It seems to come up every so often. It jumps off right here with Papa Valle. Alex Valle right here posted this saying, too bad most of you were not around for the arcade era to see how hyper competitive it was. The games were harder and the information was self-made. You have the info now, games have shortcuts for execution and mechanics help disadvantage players. Wonder why we had more killers then. And Alex adds to that note saying, another thing to note is players during the arcade era went to win. There were no conventions, no streams, no social media to get any clout. You were there to play and rush to sit down. That's why there weren't many casuals in tourneys, because every quarter was a grand finals. Then of course that starts a huge debate. Some people agree, some people disagree, some come from a different perspective. Ultra David steps in with this saying, some of the most dominant players from the early eras in the FGC, the ones who are still playing are still very competitive, and I'm sure others who step back could have done the same. same if they kept playing seriously, but the difference is that nowadays they're competitive, not dominant. He goes on to say, so old school players like Sako, Reinhardt, Hatani, Daigo, Takedo, Fudo, Justin, etc. are still really strong, and I'm sure others like Valle and Choi, etc. could still be up there if that was their goal, but if you weren't dominant back in the day, you're not competitive now. Back in the day, the strongest player won every tournament he entered for years in a row. Nowadays, we think of Punk's 2019 year in Street Fighter V when he entered 22 big tournaments and only won 8 as super strong. Takedo had a great 2019 too. He won 4 times and landed outside a top 8 6 times. It's not a knock at the strength of old school top players to say that winning the biggest fighting games is harder now than it was in the early times. Old school top players were and are strong, but nowadays there are more top players and the mid and lower level players are stronger too. Others take it from there as well, pretty much bringing up the fact that it's really hard nowadays, if you think about it, to be good consistently in games because it's forever changing. There's always DLC, there's always updates. Back in the day, not so much, but now there is a lot of updates throughout the game that's forever changing. Then Dominion, y'all know Dominion, man. He was like my favorite player for a long time just because I main Gao and I love the way that guy played. Anyway, he adds to this saying, old versus new FGC debate. I see it all and I want to chime in, but honestly, the only people that can really say anything about it are the people who have gone through all the eras and are still competitive and good. Likewise, the newer players can only speak from their competitive lens. The Big Bird responds as well saying, while I do agree with you, those who competed at the highest level before but don't now can't really judge either. Then Dominion responds saying, well, depends. The level range has widened due to the influx of players. There's a lot of players that compete that can't touch the highest level of players consistently, but that don't win tourneys. I think their opinion matters. With that said, 2020 is kind of null on this. Big Bird replies again right here saying, yeah, I'm not saying that you have to win, but those who can compete and hang have stronger opinions than those who don't but did before. And yeah, while 2020 has strong events, I can't really count them because they're online and region locked, so it doesn't determine anything. Then Mena RD, all the way from that DR baby, responds as well saying, now it's harder to win because the competition is bigger and the tools are available to everybody, but 99.9% of the players would not have developed those games as much as the legends did. Respect history. Then others on that opposite side of the fence, some start disagreeing, others start taking shots at the OGs, but we'll start right here with Mike Watson. He's an OG himself over here running Super Dojo. He says, I hate this new school versus old school argument. There's no way to prove anything. You just can't have the prime Michael Jordan versus prime Kobe Bryant versus prime LeBron James play one-on-one. It's even worse in fighting games because the version of the game is entirely different. He does go on to say, which makes my ass laugh right here, he says, on a side note though, when I came back briefly for Street Fighter 4, I literally 10-0'd and even had a 30-0 set versus a so-called top player at the time, and yes, there's proof. It's hilarious, Mike. If you're watching, I love you for that. He's basically saying, hey, look, I don't like this debate. There's no way to accurately say because you can't have a prime with another prime, 2 different generations. But on the side note, you know, I did whoop some ass. That's what's up. Talk that shit. Drop them backs. And talk that shit. Then Brian F picks it up right here as well saying, I'm so sick of people saying players today don't want to win. Then this is where I would say like the newer school starts stepping in right here. LeBrutus picks it up after Brian F saying, bro, I had to spend 25 cents every time I played the game. I have warrior scars and the new blood simply can't appreciate. Others add saying, someone punched someone at the arcade in my day. Then others notice and say, y'all sound bitter. Then Nori adds to that saying, the kids today should be thankful for the FGC old heads paving the way, but they really bark on Twitter where it's safe. We knew better back in the arcade days. Then LeBrutus responds again saying, maybe old heads should stop talking shit, laugh my ass off. It's a two-way street. Nori responds saying, we're not crying over shit talk. We appreciate how far games have come. It's not that serious. But LeBrutus responds again saying, you're the ones calling us bitter for talking shit back. Again, two-way street. Then Adonis responds saying, we honestly really don't care, to be honest. We just want our successors to be better than us or to show the same amount of passion that we put into it. There's a generational gap because the new school doesn't respect the old school. This is the developer's fault for making games easy though. Then Tweedy loads up that Twitter gun and takes some shots right here saying for most top players in the FGC and probably esports, it's their identity. So in my opinion, you gotta realize that every old head shouting to the clouds is a top player who had to let go of that. Even if they're always wrong with their argument, I think you gotta let them shout sometimes. Like imagine being 50 years old and you were fucking nasty, extra McNasty sauce in the 90s or early 2000s, but there's not even footage of you playing. I'd shout delusional salt on Twitter too, LOL. Ooh. Damn. Then it wraps up right here with Punk the God when he responds with this saying, why do people entertain this old versus new school? Who actually cares? Shut up and just play the game. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. Definitely let me know how you feeling about this debate. Like I said, we've been here before. I think maybe like a year ago or something like that. Every now and then it comes up with new factors and new perspectives and whatnot. I think it definitely goes along a lot of ways. Me being an old head, you know, as I guess I would be considered. Anyway, you know what the hell I'm trying to say. Me being from that generation, growing up in the 80s and stuff like that, I definitely lean towards that point of view because I get what they're saying and I get how hard it was and where they're coming from. There was definitely so many obstacles and stuff like that that we had to overcome just to be good at something we really love. So I get it. It was the way I see it is like this. Let me know if this makes any sense. But you remember Rocky when he fought Drago, right? When he fought the Russian, you know what I'm saying? He fought like old school training, running through the snow, picking up his homies in the damn thing, picking up the rocks, like doing everything traditional, just hardcore, old school, gritty ass training. Then you had Ivan Drago, who had all the new age shit, easy training. Now, don't get me wrong, he was still busting a sweat, but he was pumping like steroids in the system. He had scientists and data and all this other stuff. Basically, he was doing it the cheater's way within the movie. And then they fought, and of course, Rocky won, but of course, it was a Rocky movie. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say? It kind of seems like Rocky in this scene represents the old school, Drago represents the new school. Now, I'm just saying that's the way that a lot of pro players look at it. I'm not saying that's fact. I'm not saying that's the way I look at it. I'm saying that's the way it kind of comes off. I'm not even saying the new school are cheaters or anything like that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is anytime you have that debate where we kind of say, back in my day, you know what I'm saying? Because people say it to us as well from the generation before us, it always comes off like that. People, like one of the main things that sticks out is like, listen to all the obstacles we had to overcome versus the ones that you do. But on the flip side, you got people saying, yeah, we get all that, but you also have to realize there's more of us now. There's so many more people and they all have these tools. So it's not like there's just one versus the other that does it. No, we all are training like Ivan Drago now. You know what I'm saying? We all have this souped up data and all this other stuff. So it's becoming even harder. And there it is once again, ladies and gents. Definitely let me know how you feeling. New school, old school. Is there a lack of respect? Do they need some respect? Is it easier or is it harder? What the hell? And on that note, we will see you guys. Today is what, Monday? So we're going to see you again on Wednesday in the afternoon around 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. If there's a story that breaks, because I'm kind of working on something right now, I will post tomorrow as well. So thank you guys for all the love. We will see you soon. Thank you for checking the buttons. Love you forever. I'm out of breath. I'm out of words. I'm out of shape. See y'all soon. Peace.
Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe.
I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. Now what I'm with isn't it, and what's it seems weird and scary to me. It'll happen to you.